True Hauntings is a Frightfully Good production.
There are just a few strange items all over the world that seem to have a different energy about them. You know the ones. You feel uneasy when you are in their presence.
But some are much more malevolent and may even carry a curse or are haunted by their previous owners. Hi, I'm Renata.
And I'm Anne, and in this episode of the True Hauntings podcast, we take a look at a very famous painting that changed many people's lives forever once they hanged it in their homes. Maybe someone you know even had a copy.
Anne and Renata have been investigating paranormal occurrences for the past 20 years. They have been at the center of various unexplained phenomena and have witnessed countless ghostly experiences. The duo now turn to high-profile cases that have attracted the eyes of the world. Between the dimensions we see and the dimensions we don't, supernatural forces are at play. Evil lurks within the shadows of our homes and in the darkest corners of our minds. It follows us like a shadow, forever. This is where nightmares become reality. This is True Hauntings.
Welcome back to the studio, Anne, and how are you feeling this week?
Hi, Renata. How are you? I'm good.
Oh my goodness.
What happened to welcome back to the studio? I'm all in a discombobulation now because we didn't go, hi, Anne, welcome back to the studio.
I actually did say that. Didn't you not hear me?
No.
Okay. Right.
I thought you just went, hi, Anne. Oh, no, not hi, Anne. Just,
I
anyway.
said, welcome back to the studio, Anne, and how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Can I just blame medications then? I could have sworn I didn't hear it. Am I going nuts? Oh no, I am nuts. It's all right.
Yeah. No, we're nuts because we've found gold.
Oh.
We have found gold.
We're all in a dither.
With our.
And we're telling no one. No one's allowed to know where our gold came from.
This is a secret you'll have to kill us for. We have.
Or just wait another couple of years and you'll get it anyway.
Yeah. We have found gold with regard to our trip overseas and finding some haunted sites. So that's all we're saying.
Yeah, no, we were just getting overwhelmed, weren't we? Because there was so many amazing places.
Yes.
And yeah, we just were getting overwhelmed and couldn't focus, and we found a secret ingredient. Speaking of secret ingredients.
Oh, yes.
How's Magic Mind going?
Oh, I have finished my Magic Mind and I'm seriously now.
I'm buying some.
I'm going for it in the morning going, damn, I haven't got it anymore.
Yeah, no.
So I'm missing it.
I am definitely ordering more. So we had a company reach out to us. If you listen to the last True Hauntings podcast, and they asked, would we try this product called Magic Mind free of charge? No, we are not being paid. We are not getting kickbacks or anything like that. We just, we got free samples. We got a week's worth for both of us, and we said we would give our honest opinion, and we have now done the week worth of Magic Mind, and it has made a definite difference.
It has.
I'm shocked.
So you get a little box with all of these beautiful little
they're very nicely presented.
Plastic containers with the juice inside, and literally all you do is pop it in your fridge because it does taste nicer when it's cool.
But it doesn't taste bad
No,
anyway.
It doesn't taste bad anyway, but it's just nice when it's cold. And you crack it open in the morning and literally you slug it down.
Yeah,
you
give
can
it a
have
good shake.
You can have another coffee if you wish, or you can have a coffee with it to sort of top up all the zingy bits in it. But
well, I just can't go without a coffee in the morning. But
No,
you
that's
actually,
true.
It can replace your coffee.
It can.
And I like my coffee.
Yeah, nothing's going to replace my coffee. But
there's that moment you just sip it and go, ah.
It tastes. you can taste the matcha.
The matcha green tea,
Yes.
definitely. That's why you need to give it a good shake because
Yep.
the matcha settles at the bottom.
But it's definitely
It's
sweet.
fruity.
Yes, it's got
Not
a sweet.
overly sweet. It's
No.
just fruity
Yeah, so
and
it's
tingly.
it's really nice. It kind of gives you that sense that you're doing something really good for your body. And like you said, we are not being paid for this ad.
No, we are giving our honest truth. And I would have told you if I thought it was crap.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows me for my honesty. But we had some issues. We had trouble concentrating, getting through a task from beginning to end. We tended to procrastinate a bit. And I have found that it allowed me to concentrate more, so I was able to sit down and finish a task, which for my squirrel brain was quite unusual. But I saw a profound effect on Renata.
Yes.
And we only just realised when we were away for the weekend on Sunday. Now, when you travel with Renata, there is a thing you must note. You do not speak to her in the morning until she's had a coffee. She's got one in her hands and she's been sipping on it for at least a good 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. Now, on this particular morning, she got her coffee and she was chirpy and she's bright and she's cracking jokes. And I'm going, who are you? Who are you? And then we suddenly realised it was the magic mind.
Yes.
You were a different person.
Yes.
We need to get this infused into your arms
I know,
right now.
I know.
So, now, look, we also have a discount for you guys, and you have to use this in the next 10 days. So if you put into the code True Hauntings, where it says, do you have a promotional code, then you will get the following offer. You will get 56% off your first subscription. So the subscription is where you will sign up and they'll send you a month's worth each time. And that's what I'm going to go for. I'm actually committing to it because the difference I felt was that profound. Or if you just want a one-off try, then you'll get what was
20%.
20% off for the one-off try using our code True Hauntings. As I said, we get no kickbacks.
Yep.
You guys just get a discount based on us trying it, I suppose. And I'm going to be using that 56% discount to get my subscription.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, we had a friend we were talking to about this, and one of the things that she said is that she has children who have a lot of trouble trying to take tablets, especially in the morning, and this might be a really great alternative to get them focused. If you are a really bad morning person and a bit of a grumbly bum, and I know I am.
Renata.
Yeah. This has created some change for me. It really does. And it's made me more focused. I have a real issue with trying to get out of bed in the morning. So I more easily do that. I am willing to really give it a long-term try because you are dealing with things that are they're real. They're not manufactured things. They're sort of real, natural
That's the word
stuff.
we're
That's
after.
natural.
Yep.
And so this is always going to take longer for your system to sort of get used to the changes and for you to see a greater change. But from what we have tried, it's worth taking.
Yeah. So 10 days, guys, from when this podcast comes out. If you're going to give it a crack, do it straight away. But now we need to get on with the show. I don't know if this is really connected to this, but my aunt used to have one of those paintings. It was placed on the hallway wall and you always had to walk past it whenever you came into the house. It seemed creepy to me, even as a child. A few years later, I talked to my mother when I discovered the exact same picture in our living room. She had won it on a game night with my family. You know, one of those games where you roll the dices and either way you get nothing, a present, or you have to drink. A bit later, I read this story on the internet. I told my mum about it and she started feeling nervous around the picture. Next game night, which happened to take place a year later, she brought it back only for my aunt to get it back by coincidence. She hung it back up on the hallway wall. My mother hadn't told her about the story at first, but when she did, my aunt put it in the basement to rot away. This may sound like a typical thing where you hear a story and you get in too deep and start imagining things, but I later realised that when my aunt first had the painting, her husband cut off one finger at work. Nothing to worry about. But then my mother had the painting and my dad was diagnosed with cancer. Right after my aunt got it back, my uncle died from a heart attack despite being perfectly fine before. These might not be linked to each other or the painting, just events that happened randomly, but it still feels weird when I think about it.
Right, so we are talking about a painting that was terribly popular, or a series of paintings that were terribly popular, and this goes back to around the 1950s. And in most cases, if you walked into your grandma's place, or even your mum's place, you'd have to be kind of our age if it was going to be in your mum's place. This is a mass-produced print or set of prints that have on them a little boy in tears.
With rosy, chubby cheeks.
Or a little girl, actually. A little girl or a little boy in tears. Yeah. They're usually a bit frazzled looking, as if they're sort of street urchins, children who have been out on the street and aren't terribly well dressed, and their hair is all over the place. But the tears are the big thing.
Oh, the
that
tears
you see.
are real.
The tears that are running down their face. And it's called the Crying Boy series. Yeah. And it's attributed to a painter who lived or was born around 1911 and died in 1981. He signs all of his his paintings, and again, like I said, these were really popular around the 1950s, and they sold like hotcakes. Everyone had one.
I remember them.
Yes.
I absolutely vividly remember them.
Yes, and you can still find them in op shops, opportunity shops, second-hand shops. You will find them
But dare you take it home?
on occasion.
This is the question.
Yes.
Hopefully we can answer that question for you.
Yes. Now, it's attributed to a Bruno Amadio, and sometimes by other names, Angelo Brigolin or Giovanni Brigolin, and is a creator of a series of these crying boy paintings.
Why so many aliases? It's suspicious.
I don't know.
Unless it's like a pen name.
I'll explain to you in a minute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And sometimes they were called the Gypsy Boys, although there's really nothing associated with the Romani people, but I guess because they looked a little bit scruffy and like they were children from, the street. Now, he was a trained painter, and he worked in post-war Venice as a painter and a restorer. And he did about 60 to 65 such paintings. That's a lot of crying boys.
Why would you be fascinated with painting crying boys? That's disturbing.
Yeah. And look, this is where you don't know much about this fellow other than he worked on the streets. He got fascinated with these children that were walking around and sort of begging, and he'd call them over and he'd sit down and he'd paint them.
He'd pinch them, they'd cry, and he could paint them. There you go, done.
And I think he thought that he was helping them out. And he could give them a few dollars, which would mean that they could buy some food. Mm-hmm. And, Yeah, so he painted children from a local orphanage, which subsequently burnt down, which is a bit sad.
Oh,
and
that's interesting that it burnt down. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, and it's just everywhere he went, he would sort of paint these pictures. And look, the reasoning behind the number was that, yes, he became fascinated with this little thing. I mean, it would be frowned upon very much in this day and age to be taking paintings or creating paintings of little children. But he became fascinated with the subject, and these pictures sold well.
They did.
So, why do you change something that's working?
Yeah, making him a little bit of money.
That's the formula. Now, we have a kind of a build-up of stories, and this is what you're going to tell about these paintings being created en masse and selling very, very well. Mm-hmm. And
you know which store picked it up, don't you? I think it was hilarious when I read which store it was that bought it up. Woolworths.
Oh.
Woolworths printed it en masse.
Yeah, and of course everyone bought it. And then strange things started to happen in the houses where this painting was hanged. And this is where we get the legend that is associated with the crying boys, and that really you shouldn't be buying one and putting it in your house.
Well, they didn't know it at the time because it was the très chic thing to have a picture of a miserable child crying in your house.
Yes.
And they'd hang it up on the wall and people go, oh, I'm très chic because I've got the crying boy painting.
Yes.
And, then,
so
Danana.
I'm going to go back to the artist.
Oh, yes, please.
In a moment.
Oh, okay.
But the next kind of piece of this crying boy history was actually written by David Clarke, and it was published in the good old Fortean Times.
And I've been trying to find that article and I couldn't find it. Did you find it?
In July 2008. Yes, I did.
Oh, cow.
And he writes that the whole thing actually started in 1985, so quite a few years after these paintings were popular and really all over the world. And it was because of a British newspaper called The Sun.
Oh, surprise.
Now, they published an article that was titled Blazing Curse of the Crying Boy. And this article was splashed all over one page. We do have a copy of it. We'll put it up on our True Hauntings fans podcast page, where you have the picture of the crying boy painting and the family.
Oh, do you dare open that article up inside your house?
Yes. So it told of a couple who blamed a cheap copied painting of a boy child with tears running down his cheeks on the fire that actually destroyed their house in Rotherham, South Yorkshire. Yeah. So the thing that made it really very bizarre is that the fire burnt everything in the house except for the painting.
Satan predicted it.
Yes.
Oh.
So look, it would have all disappeared in the archives of the strange and mysterious stories of the Sun, except for one thing. A firefighter actually came forward and said that he had attended at least 15 house fires where everything in the house was destroyed except for a painting of the crying boy that the family had bought or were given beforehand.
Yes.
Yes, so 15 house
fireman
fires.
is someone, it's like if a policeman reported on that, you would be taking what they're saying very seriously because you would hold them in high esteem, someone of authority and respect.
That's right. So the local fire brigade then started to field all of these calls from people who had a copy of the crying boy on their walls and have gone, oh my God, what do we do? We've got this picture now. It is haunted. It is cursed. first.
It is.
What are we going to do with this painting? And of course, I would assume that the fire brigade just said, look, stop this. This is really ridiculous.
They actually did have to put out a statement.
Yeah, look, just get it out of your house. Just get it out of your house. Look, if you're worried about it, get it out of your house. But they did do a little bit of research because of all of this, and they actually did. You can find a YouTube video, I think, on YouTube where they actually.
Oh, really? A YouTube video on YouTube? Wow, that's rocket science. That
one.
one.
Thank you. They set one of these paintings on fire.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got to watch it.
Okay.
But
Got to be there.
The thing is that in most cases, this picture was actually, as you said, mass produced, selling at Woolies, and it was on a high density hardboard that was literally so fireproof the bugger wouldn't light up.
That's right. It was probably some cheap chemicals combination of something that was never going to burn or decay on the earth, and that we will all be extinct on the planet, but there'll be crying boy paintings everywhere because they don't.
The archaeologists will probably
decompose.
look at it and say, "This is the child God.
It's baby Jesus. It's baby Jesus, and he's sad with humanity because he's crying."
Yes.
The aliens will come down and find it.
Now the sun.
Oh, what a legacy to leave behind.
I know.
Gee.
Oh dear. Okay. Oh, geez.
I'm feeling better, everyone.
My brain's just going.
Can you tell I'm feeling better?
Yes.
I've had the tooth pulled. I'm feeling better.
Yes.
She's
My
thinking.
head's going to the shroud of Turin and going, okay. Well, we won't go there. So
far.
the Sun newspaper then added fuel to the fire.
Oh, no, they wouldn't, would they?
Boom, tish. And they thought, oh, Halloween's coming up. What can we do? Ooh. So they did a call out on their in their magazine, newspaper, and they said to everyone, anyone who is disturbed by the Crying Boy painting, bring it in, and we are going to do a massive bonfire and set all of the Crying Boy paintings that we get alight so that we can remove this curse from England.
Now, can I just point something out at this part of the story?
Yeah.
They're going to have a bonfire of the painting that cannot be burned.
Yeah.
So, is that the best way to solve this issue?
Well, I guess they're trying to prove that it's not the painting. Because if it does burn, then it's not the painting.
Oh, is this like the witch? If the witch drowns, she wasn't a witch.
Yes.
But if she doesn't drown, she definitely was a witch. So we must kill her by drowning her.
Yes, that's correct.
Oh.
And so they printed lots of articles and scary stories, all heading up to Halloween 1985, and they got hundreds and hundreds of paintings. They were collected by the newspaper and they were burnt under the supervision of the local fire brigade, who must have thought, thank God this is going to be over. I reckon the firefighter got hauled across the burning paintings of the Crying Boy and said, you opened your big fat mouth and look what you've done.
I've got stories about all of that, so right. I will give you more.
All right. But they collected 2,500 copies. 2,500 copies.
But there was supposed to be like 50,000 copies sold.
Yeah.
So there's still a lot out there.
Yep.
Ooh.
Right. So they claim that if you have a picture of the Crying Boy, that you must respect it. And, if you talk to him and you appease him, then he'll bring you good luck.
Peas and mashed potato and gravy.
If you happen to get a picture of a crying boy and a crying girl, you put them together, right? So they're side by side, and that's going to protect your house from any possible danger that's to come.
It makes them both crying happy together. Now,
in all of this kerfuffle, and we're going back to 1985, that's not too long ago.
Not for us. There's people listening to this podcast that weren't born in 1985, just to make you feel really old.
There was a fellow who was actually watching and this whole story erupt and go forward. And his name was George Mallory. And now George Mallory was a retired school teacher, and he was a well-respected researcher in the occult. And George found the origins of the painting, because we all want to know, where did all of this start?
We want to know.
Oh,
I've been busting at the seams to know. It's not all the extra cakes and crap I've been eating and I'm busting at the seams.
So let's go here. The actual artist was Franchot Seville, who also went by the names of Bruno Amodus and G. Bregolan, which, as you said,
many names.
Weird that it has so many names. So Seville explained that in 1969 he found a child wandering the streets of Madrid, and the child was obviously a street kid. He did not speak, but he had very sad eyes.
Oh, he was mute.
So he decided, not he, but the artist, Bruno, decided to paint him. And a local priest showed, after the painting was done, he showed the people that were around in the village, and a local priest identified him as Don Bonillo, who was a child who had run away from home after seeing his parents die in a house fire.
It's all explained.
So the priest then warned Seville to stay away from the child, as wherever the child seemed to turn up, there were mysterious fires that would break out.
He's a pyromaniac.
And the villagers started to call this little kid El Diablo.
Oh, not the devil.
The devil. So this is why this little one was stuck on the street. What a terrible thing. So Seville kind of went, this is all ridiculous. I don't believe this. This is a poor little kid. I'm actually going to help him out.
Poor tiny
And so
tot.
he ignored the priest, and he started to get the boy back to be an ongoing model for more artworks.
Yes.
It's very bad.
Hey, little boy, let me come paint you in my studio. Do you want to see my etchings? Oh, we've got the famous wheeze back. Yay!
Oh, so the paintings sold very well.
Everyone wanted the little boy.
But then, there was a bizarre fire that broke out in Seville's studio.
Oh, well, there you go.
And, of course, what he did is he turned around and he accused the child of arson.
It is the boy. That's it.
You know, you shouldn't do that to El Diablo anyway.
Well, I mean, if he's from hell, he loves fire. Fire's a fabulous thing.
So Bonillo ran away, and that wasn't the last time anyone actually ever heard of him. Until many, many years later, the body of a young man who was around the age of 19 by that stage was identified after a very terrible car crash, and it is believed that it was Don Bonillo.
Yes, the car was a charred wreck, as was the bodily remains found inside, but miraculously a wallet was found in the glove box.
Gov blocks.
The glove box.
Yep.
It's slightly charred, with a license revealing it was Don
Bonillo. El Diablo.
So
So isn't that strange that he actually died, in such a terrible way, and that Seville actually had his studio burnt down? I mean,
he had witnessed his parents die as well?
It was like this just horrible
It's a
circumstances.
curse.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a curse.
Now, I've got a little bit more information about the painter, the artist, but I want to hear some ghost stories first.
Oh, well, I'm not just doing ghost stories, my friend. I am delving deep into the story.
Okay.
To find out the truth and the furfies.
Okay.
But first, guys, don't forget you've got 10 days for magicmind.co. Go to the website magicmind.co. Enter in True Hauntings, and you can get those discounts.
So it's a 20% for a one-off.
Yep.
Or if you subscribe, it's a huge whopping
50-something%.
56%.
Yeah, was it? I can't.
Yeah.
I've lost my screen in front of me,
Yeah.
but listen back to the start. Don't forget the code True Hauntings. And I don't know if you listened to the podcast last week, but there was ashwagandha in there, which my husband has been trying to ram down my throat for months. That really helps with anxiety. Because I was getting myself a little worked up occasionally.
You were.
So he was, thanks, Renata.
Well, you've been sick for weeks.
I
so
have. I've been
finally out of
sick
it.
for the whole bloody year. He's... And I did notice a bit of a difference when I was taking the ashwagandha, but the Magic Mind made the biggest difference of all. So magicmind.co, we'll put it down into the information below the podcast. And True Hauntings is the code. 10 days, guys. 10 days from today. Get in there and get it.
Yeah, this is an opportunity to try it. I mean, like I said, we're pretty chuffed with it, so we're going to get some more. But
so if you're struggling with lower energy, procrastination, concentrating energy, if you need more focus, give it a try, because honest to God, and I'm saying we're not getting a cent for this. Not 1 cent. Not even any more offers of free bottles, which we'd love, Magic Mind. So please, if you want to make a difference in your life, give it a go. But let's get on with the my bits now. Now, I was getting a little bit overwhelmed with the amount of information that was out there, and I ended up stumbling across this listversed.com 10 unsettling truths about the crying boy painting curse. And that gave me a really nice framework for the story, because I've got, as Renata knows, when she came in, I've got bits of paper everywhere and I'm underlining and scribbling, and I hope I won't jump around as much as I normally do, because Magic Mind has helped me.
And look, if your family owns a copy of one of the crying boys, can you let us know?
Has there been any issues?
Send us a message.
Send us the painting. Renata would love to put it in her house. Hey, could solve a lot of problems, Renata.
No.
Could solve a lot of problems.
No, I ain't having that anywhere near my house. But if you have a painting, or you know anyone who has had a painting, let us know, and let us know if anything's happened, because this is really, really weird.
Now, some of the stuff you've covered, right? So I will just
reiterate.
Just reiterate and briefly go over it.
Yes.
So we've got the paintings were signed by Giovanni Bragolin, Italian painter, who doesn't exist. Right, just so you know. The true artist was supposedly Bruno Amadio. And as you said, Franchot Seville is the other name. Did a whole series of the Crying Boy paintings, mass production, supposed to be 50,000 prints sold. It was the only artwork that Amadio had any success with. However, the images weren't terribly nice. They're showing suffering, despair, longing of innocent young children, and that immediately started people thinking, is he abusing the children?
Yeah, red flag.
Yeah, red flag there for me. And did he specifically frighten them, terrify them as he painted them? So, they were calling the little boy El Diablo, but is the painter themselves the devil? Right. The subject, as you said, was meant to be an orphan, a mute orphan, little street urchin, and we go on to the whole thing about the parents and the fire. Then a series of fires were breaking out. I mean, is it possible that this child had some sort of abilities? Has he been in duress that he is a fire starter? Remember the movie Firestarter?
Yes.
Which is the type of the PK ability.
Yeah. That's psychokinetic.
Yeah. So that could be what happened there, particularly if this artist has adopted him and he's now living in the studio, which supposedly caught fire. If he was under duress there, then fires would start, wouldn't they?
And we do hear a lot of this sort of stuff, not as much in places like America and Australia and England, but in India, these fire starters, and in the Philippines and places like that, the fire starting poltergeists seem to be everywhere.
Yeah. So we then have it backfiring on the artist, where his artwork then started to become known as a jinx, and nobody wanted any of his paintings, let alone commissioning him to paint something brand new, because they just didn't want to have anything to do with him. So that's then left him out of money.
Mm-hmm.
And is it possible that the boy died from a car accident? Yeah, possibly, but I don't know. Is there actually any proof that this happened?
Was he hidden away for all of that time
I don't know.
by the artist, who then sort of said, "Well, you're here. I'm keeping you alive. I'm feeding you. This is the best life you're going to have."
Yeah. So I want to just go back to the artist himself. Do you know that it wasn't just the one artist? There was other painters who painted this style as well. And the other one, the Crying Boy, because I suppose once one person does it and they have success with it, other people are going to give it a crack too. There was a Scottish artist, Anna Zinkierson, who also painted the crying children photos. It was very popular amongst the working class communities, maybe because they suffer so much themselves trying to make ends meet that they could really relate to it. Don't really know. But it was popular amongst women as well. All right, now I'm switching between my notes. So now we move along to the house fires, supposedly over 60 house fires, but wait for it, there's more. The first one to be reported was the Ron and Mary Hall in 1985. As you said, the newspaper got hold of it, and as soon as the newspaper got hold of it, more cases started coming to light.
Yep.
There was a pizza parlour that fell victim to it. But what they're not mentioning and what they're not highlighting is that there were other causes of these fires which were much more mundane, but because of the fact they had this crying boy painting there which seemed to survive the fire,
Yes.
it was attributed to the crying boy. Now, the very first one that was reported in 85, they had a chip pan on the stove,
Yes.
which caught fire and burnt down their house.
Yeah.
And the weird thing was that this painting had fallen face first onto the ground and survived. In other cases, there were people who had left radiators on or oil heaters on, or had cigarettes in bed. Or candles. There was all these mundane explanations, electrical fires, bad wiring, as to why this had happened. But because of the presence of the crying boy painting, they all got very worried about it. And of course, it doesn't help.
Painting's haunted.
That's it. That you have someone like Alan Wilkinson, who was from Rotherham, I don't know if you say that properly, Rotherham Fire Station, who has personally logged 50 fires where crying boy paintings survive. He was very sceptical but could not explain how the artwork survived. But his wife had her own theory, which was, I always say it's the tears that put the fire out on the painting.
Oh, that's lovely.
Isn't it? But that was one of the things that then kicked off as to why the painting was surviving. It became a part of the lore or the legend surrounding this phenomena. Now, we go on here to the... I thought this was a very funny side note. Alan Wilkinson, who had reported to the paper that, he had those 50 fires, when he retired, they presented him with a framed print of the crying boy. And guess what?
His house burnt down?
No, he said he didn't want it in his house. That doesn't help.
Oh, no.
That really doesn't help. Now, at this stage, they brought out Chief Divisional Officer Mick Riley from the Yorkshire Fire Service to issue a statement. The reason why this picture has not always been destroyed in the fires is because it is printed on high-density cardboard, which is very difficult to ignite. That didn't convince the public at all. They were still saying, that's it, it's cursed. And then I found in another article, I thought you'd like this, the same said person, Mick Riley, was offered a picture as well of the crying boy, and he wouldn't accept a copy of the print as a gift, saying, my wife wouldn't like it and it wouldn't fit with our decor. Now, it makes you wonder a little bit.
Yes.
If these guys are coming out and saying, oh no, this is, not what it's all about.
Yeah.
But they're refusing to have one in their house just in case.
Yeah.
Now, all this nonsense started with, as you said, the Sun. Now, there is a story about the editor, I think it was, of the Sun, which I have here, who was really well known for his genius in finding stories that would kick off. I think it was what he used to call it.
So we would now say, go viral.
Yes, we would. So the person that's believed to be the father of the crying boy curse is Kelvin Mackenzie. Oh,
What? The father of the crying boy curse?
Yes. So in the mid-80s, the Sun was engaged in a big battle for readers with its Fleet Street rival, the Daily Mirror.
Uh-huh.
So they were responsible for publishing a series of horrific and bizarre stories with tenuous origins, to say the least, such as Freddie Starr ate my hamster.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I remember some of those titles with spaceships and things like that and anal probes. So what he would like to do is he would like to try and find a story that would normally end up on the back page somewhere, dig it out, and create what he called a great splash with it. So this crying boy story and the painting surviving came across his desk, and he saw the potential in this one that was going to be buried up the back somewhere, and he said, this one's got legs and it's going to run and run. So on September 5, 1985, they ran the story. They had so many readers that were absolutely horrified and claiming to be the victims of this curse. And they were flooded with calls. And of course, they're going to run this story now. They've got everyone's coming in on it. So they actually ran it for a few weeks, I think it was. A few weeks, yeah. They were all living in fear that they were jinxed, and the paper started to put words into their, what we would call clickbait, into their headings of their newspaper. So you guys all think you started this off. No, let me tell you, the Sun had it first. They used words like curse, jinx, feared, horrified, all stuff that was this real sinister, foreboding sort of stories, and people were flocking to it. They loved it.
It would take their mind off their mundane life.
And you could blame something else for their misfortune.
Yes.
So typical news stories were all my paintings were destroyed except the one of the crying boy. That was Dora Mann from Mitchin. There was another lady called Sandra Caskey. Her sister-in-law and a friend had all suffered disastrous fires since they'd got copies. There was another family from Nottingham, blamed the print for a blaze which had left them homeless. There was another man called Brian Parks, whose wife and 3 children needed treatment for smoke inhalation. And he had destroyed his copy after returning from hospital, and he came back to find it hanging undamaged on the blackened wall of his living room.
Oh, no. That's terrible. Oh. Does the Warrens Museum have a copy?
I was going to ask that question. Oh my God, you read my mind. Get out of my mind. No. So, as you said,
It's probably too close.
they've created this problem now, the Sun paper.
Oh, they've brought it to everyone's attention.
Yeah.
So everyone's heading around and having a look.
And like the father of it said, "Enough is enough, folks. If you're worried about the crying boy picture hanging in your home, send it to us immediately. We will destroy it for you." And that should see the back end of the curse. So that's what you mentioned. And they ended up with 2,500.
Yes.
Apparently there was stacks and stacks and stacks of them. Somebody thought it was a great idea to replace the picture of Winston Churchill on the wall with the crying boy painting, and Kelvin said, "No, I don't like it, take it down." So they had this massive bonfire, which they considered to be an exorcism of the painting.
Yes.
But the way they went about it was slightly unusual, in that they used to have, I think it was called page 3 ladies, the ones that were scantily clad.
Yes.
So they did want to have the burning on top of a building, but the fire marshal said no. So this is why I think they allowed it to happen elsewhere, because they knew it was going to happen and they wanted to supervise it. So they did have someone supervise the burning, but they had scantily clad models who were also dumping paintings into the bonfire.
Oh.
Because we need that in every exorcism. Maybe that's why the other exorcisms haven't worked. They didn't have bikini models that were throwing the holy water or something like that.
Oh dear.
Yes. So, yeah, the idea of this whole thing was to have something public to then make people think it was finished.
It was done.
It was done. But it wasn't. So there was somebody from the BBC radio who decided they wanted to look into the Crying Boy series, and they sort of reignited it, so to speak. No pun intended there. And they bought a picture of the Crying Boy, and apparently going to pick it up. He was inexplicably delayed on his destination several times, and then they attempted to burn the print to see what would happen. So they're trying to do a little bit of scientific work here around it. Now, what they did find is that beyond the string, the artwork didn't really burn. So maybe it was a fire retardant varnish that was used on it. But what it did explain is why it was always found face down. Because the string would burn, which would then cause it to fall, landing face first. I liked that explanation. But it did...
Still sounds cursed to me.
Other people started looking at it as well. Apparently it turned up on season 3 episode of Weird or What with William Shatner. That was in 2012. That wasn't that long ago. There are fan clubs of the Crying Boy fan club.
What?
Yep. There is a forum on unexplained mysteries where people are still arguing about it. And the soundscape I took it today was from Reddit, somebody's personal story. And on February 2nd, 2022, Hanbury Arms Haunted Hotel and Museum posted that they currently have several Crying Boy paintings on display, proving that the urban legend isn't going away, and they haven't burnt down yet. Now, I'm going to jump around a little bit because there were so many really good things I found, and I tried to weave it all together, but I just got too excited.
Can I just tell you that I've done a quick search
while I paused briefly? Yeah.
And there are 3 groups here online, Facebook groups. The Crying Boy Pictures, Legend or Curse. They've got over 2,000 members. And it's a meeting place for keepers of the Crying Boy Girl pictures and a place to tell your story about these oddities. Then you've got the Crying Boy. It's only got 11 members. And it's...
11. That's a wildly active
the Crying Boy paintings, just harmless portraits of poor, dirty street urchins, or is there a sinister curse beyond those teary eyes? And then you've got the Crying Boy, one of the most... controversial paintings in the world. They have 65 members.
Wow. It's obviously very popular. All right. So not only these stories of the burnings were happening when they had put it into the paper, several other things popped up as well. There was one that really had me scratching my head, but I'll ask for your opinion on that. Other people claimed they'd seen their print swinging from side to side. There was one lady that said, since I brought it in 1959, it wasn't out then, was it? I didn't think it was out till the 70s. Anyway,
No.
my 3 sons and my husband have all died. I wonder if it's the curse, but this is the one that really confused me. Another from Paynton said her 11-year-old son had caught his private parts on a hook straight after she bought the picture.
Oh, there can only be one.
Oh, maybe there is only one now because one had to be removed. It was caught on a hook. I don't understand.
Oh, that's terrible. Poor little pumpkin. Oh.
Little nugget.
Oh, dear.
All right, there's some other anomalies here. Now, you mentioned that they were trying to go to experts to get information.
Mm-hmm.
So the journalists started to go to folklore and occult people to try and get explanations, and they wouldn't buy into it. Oh, Renata, you on TikTok again?
Sorry. I'm going into these groups. I'm fascinated now. Okay,
Right. So yeah, the interview didn't go the way the journalist had hoped because she just wouldn't say it was satanic, that it was cursed or anything like that. There was no reason why these paintings were attached to anything. Because she wouldn't mention witch or Satan or curses, they went off and found someone else they could talk to. So that's selective journalism.
Yep.
And this is something you should be aware of. Anyway, there was another person called Roy Vickery, Secretary of the Folklore Society, was quoted to the effect that the original artist might have mistreated the child model in some way, adding that these fires could be the child's curse, a way of getting his revenge. Is that how that rumour started? Because there is no proof whatsoever the child was even real, never mind mistreated, but it makes a great story, and people love a great story.
No, we had that the father, whatever his name was, in the little village who said,
the priest?
yes, that this child was real. I'm just keeping with the scenario of the story, right?
Yeah, no.
No.
Look, it's hard to know where to go with all of this. All right, they're talking about this story now sort of begins to morph into a modern legend. And we've now got things starting to come out that you'll have good luck if you get the crying girl and the crying boy together,
yes,
or that they cancel each other out.
Yes.
These all seem like somebody has said something at some stage or other, and then that little snippet has taken legs and run. And then it becomes urban legend or lore for the people involved.
But I think it's a way of giving people hope as well that have bought this painting, that there might be some good in it. So it's like, retelling this story in a different framework and going, well, maybe not necessarily the crying boy is going to curse everyone. If you treat him well, because he wasn't treated well in life, you will have good luck.
And there is a comment here that the story of the badly treated by the artist was gaining popularity. Few cared that there were several different paintings and artists. It was just the crying boy. And that the idea that he being badly treated was a throwaway remark offered to the son a decade earlier. So it's just somebody who has said something and, as I said, grew legs and ran. Now, in the year 2000, there was an author, Tom Sleman, who's revived the story in his book called Haunted Liverpool. And if I remember correctly, it's Haunted Liverpool 4. Now, I'm just going to read what's written here because I don't want to get in trouble. So the books are presented as non-fiction, but are largely unreferenced. Like many other in the genre, the stories they contain are presented in an entertaining narrative style which appeals to a mass readership. In his entry, The Crying Boy Jinx, Sleman states as fact that the head of the Yorkshire Fire Brigade has told newspapers that the Crying Boy print has turned up in the rubble of houses that had mysteriously burnt to ground. Now, that is actually incorrect. That's not what was said at all. So, it looks like things have been twisted Oh, sorry. He said that the picture was evil, and the fire chief refused to comment. But it's been made into this evil artwork because it's going to make a good story. Now, the other thing I want to point out is that if there were 50,000 copies of this sold, and we now have a handful of houses or whatever it is that have had fires to some degree in there, that's a very small percentage of the actual amount of paintings out there. And those houses, or there would be a certain percentage of fires naturally or through doing the wrong thing in your house, not being safe, that would have happened. And it just happens that this picture is in there.
Well, it's probably, the picture was in almost every house back then.
Yeah. Now let me tell you this story here because you're going to like this. You mentioned the retired schoolmaster from Devon, George Mallory. He was supposed to have traced the original origins of it. It was an old Spanish portrait from French Seville. And according to the author Sleman, the subject of the paintings was a little street urchin, and there was a Catholic priest who identified him, and all of this. It goes on and on. And also about the fire cry, all that happened as well. And, they actually can't find any paper trail on any of this. But it does make a good story, doesn't it? The source of Sleman's story is unknown, and the mysterious George Mallory proves to be untraceable, as is Francois Seville and Giovanni Bragolin.
Yes.
But it does tidy up and make a really good story that I'm sure they could make a movie about. I'm sure there will be a Conjuring about it.
Oh, that's given them an idea. Right.
Now, there is one thing we haven't covered yet, which normally pops up in every one of our stories. A medium.
Oh, I didn't know there was a medium in this one.
I've got a medium involved. I knew you'd like that. So they had a TV show which they went to someone who had one of these pictures in a cafe and all that sort of thing, and they brought in an expert. So they brought in, firstly, the gentleman that wrote this article, which... Oh, where is it? Okay, I'm losing bits of paper again, Renata. But he was the first expert that came through and gave the opinion of what he had researched and found out. Next, they brought in a trance medium who was asked to tune into the painting. Now, she knew nothing about it. I believe it. Nevertheless, within minutes, she was able to divine not only a direct link between the painting and an artist who lived in Spain, but also a sensation of burning and visions of a car crash.
Wow,
she was even
she's
able
good.
to... Oh, she is. She was even able to name the little boy involved in the crash as Din Don Den. Isn't that a nursery rhyme? Din Don Den. This was enough to convince the more superstitious members of the team that there really was something in the curse. Now, the show ended up with the team agreeing to destroy the copy of the crying boy outside the cafe in order to disperse any surviving evil influence. That poor little fella. The print was doused with petrol and attempts were made to ignite it. 3 attempts were made before the print finally succumbed to the flames, to the great relief of Scream Team. So that was the name of the show, Scream Team. Oh, man, what do we do with this? But before I go any further, I should acknowledge drdaveclark.co.uk, where I did get quite a bit of this information from. So... have I left anything out, Renata? Because I know you did research on it as well, and I've just ended up with notes everywhere. There is so much on it. But firstly, we've got the painting by an artist who has several different names, and historically they're having trouble even finding those names. We've got 50,000 paintings being sold, and several house fires.
Yes.
Or phenomena. We've got the media whipping up a hysteria because they need to sell more papers than the other one,
Yes.
and somebody who has a talent for finding that sort of thing. We've got journalists who are seeking experts who will only give them quotes that they want to use
Yes.
for the newspaper. We've got the various people who have been used as experts for a book being non-existent. We have the stories of the priest and the young boy Don, who also they're not able to track these people historically. What is going on?
Well, it can be a big cover-up so that no one finds the truth.
Oh, I never thought of it like that.
Because, if you sort of dust over the trail and the trail gets lost, then, the legend and the curse, because, the demon is looking after that curse. You don't want the evil.
They're going to be tricky. Are you putting demon in there for SEO?
Yes, because, if the demon is covering up, the ability to find out the truth, it's creating that sense of that energy still being there. And, it will just go on and on and on, creating havoc in people's lives. You've got groups coming up on the internet that are still interested in this story, and they're continuing to look at what is happening to the people that
They're fans of it.
Own this crying boy.
It's like the bloody Annabelle doll.
It's there and it's real. And, if you go on the internet and you look for information, that's got to be the total truth, doesn't it?
It does. Of course it does. Logic doesn't make sense whatsoever.
And the thing is that the stories are perpetuating. So when we do our research, what we find is that the biggest stories are always the ones that have the clickbait in them.
Yes.
They come to the top of the searches. And,
that just floats to the top like...
And if you want
cream.
to actually look for any further information, that might be 7, 8, 9, 10 pages back. Yeah.
Now, I've got a twist for you, Renata. First off, do you think this is a true haunting?
No.
Okay. Let me give you a twist. Did you know that one of our volunteers of our Frightfully Good team bought one of these pictures?
What? You
They found one in an op shop, and I vaguely remembered it. I think it was Ivy. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty convinced it was Ivy. She bought one.
Right.
Do you remember what happened?
No, I don't.
They had a big fire in their kitchen when her partner left.
Oh, yes.
Yes, we were in Dubbo when it happened.
That's right.
They had a fire. And then they had another fire not long after that.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Is that a coincidence?
Oh.
Now, if I gifted you one of these paintings, would you hang it in your house?
I wouldn't hang it. I'd keep it in the house, but I wouldn't hang it. Because it just doesn't, it doesn't go with anything.
It just won't go with your house.
No,
It doesn't go with your decor.
Whatever
My
decor.
husband wouldn't like it.
Whatever decor it is.
Oh.
It's circa 1990 to 2020.
I did send Ivy a message to confirm whether it was her that had bought it, but I haven't heard back from her yet.
Right.
So I just thought that was a very interesting little twist.
Oh, no.
To add to the end of the show.
Oh.
So what's your thoughts, guys? Do you think this is a true haunted painting, or do you think this is a furphy? Oh, Renata's just waved at me. Renata, what's up? What have you found?
I've actually got some information about the real artist.
Are you sure it's the real artist?
Well,
because there's so much bull dust surrounding this story.
I guess let me add it. Let me add it to it. All right, so when all of this stuff started to appear in the papers and everything, and yes, as you said, there is no evidence that George Mallory, Franchot Seville, or Don Bonillo ever existed, so can't find any information. But there is a real artist, and we go back to the Fortean Times. And no, not the Fortean Times. I think it's the Skeptical Inquirer.
Oh.
I think. And he actually managed to find him back in 2009. And he is an Italian, was an Italian. His name was Bruno Amadio. I actually mentioned him right at the very beginning. Now, when all of this stuff started to come up to the papers, one person actually contacted this particular author here and said, I knew the fella that actually did the original paintings.
Yeah.
And there's a photograph of him.
Yes, I saw that photograph today.
Yes. So he was an older gentleman, probably in his 50s, when he started
That's
doing...
not old, Renata.
I know. When he started doing the paintings. And this guy, Antonio Castello, lived next door to him.
Right.
So he was a neighbour. He was a neighbour for 10 years. Now, Bruno, the artist, was actually a very talented artist. He actually did teaching at the Academy of Venice, and he was very good at what he did. But he was a teacher, and he tried to create artworks to help him survive financially.
Yeah.
And when he started doing The Crying Boy, it sold really well.
Yep.
And so people kept on asking him to do more.
Yeah.
And he did. And it made him enough money to survive on. Now, this particular neighbour actually bought the house that Bruno lived in after Bruno died.
Yeah.
And so now
it wasn't haunted?
No, it wasn't haunted. The reason why, and if you buy an original copy now of any of the works, they can go for over $3,500.
Okay.
So you've got a little
not
bit
a
of a
Picasso.
No. Now, he asked why Bruno used so many pseudonyms and actually signed the art by a different name. It's because of all of this stuff that went on.
So he had to keep trying to hide.
Yeah, that he heard about the painting, that he was ashamed of actually putting his real name to it. Yes, and so that's why...
that's why we have the pseudonyms.
That's why we have the pseudonyms. And the poor man died in 1981 of a disease of the esophagus.
Oh, that'd be all the chemicals from the paint.
But the legend lives on.
The legend lives on. So, is it a true haunting or not? I don't think so.
No.
But that brings us to the end of this week's episode. I hope you've enjoyed this one as much as we have, because I actually had a hoot doing this. I got right into it and then got overwhelmed by it, as you do. But we will be back next week with another episode. Don't forget your Magic Mind True Hauntings discount. Get it while you can. And guys, we'll see you on the dark side.
And stay frightfully good.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of True Hauntings. If you like the show, give us a 5-star rating and leave a review. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening right now. For more on Anne and Renata, follow @Anne and Renata on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, or visit their website www.anneandrenata.com.